we had a guest.
Our very first demoted guest.
Two-time World Series champion with the San Francisco Giants.
Founded multiple small businesses with his wife.
He's sent 3 emails this year, but he's the most corporate guy we know.
Hunter Pence.
Thanks for having me. Are you ready to go dominate?
Did we just get a pregame pep talk?
Oh my God, I feel amazing.
The series is actually low vibe.
This feels really uplifting. Who's done your hair throughout the years?
I think we need to bring up more drama about that. Y'all put me in the freaking fire over here.
Demoted.
Beanbag baddies are back, baby.
We are back, motherfuckers, but we are not in the beanbags.
We are not.
We're not.
I have something hard under my tush and it feels weird.
Okay. Yes, that's a weird way to say it. There's also a massive space in between Natalie and I.
Massive space.
No,
usually
she doesn't have COVID.
Usually we like to hold hands sometimes.
At
just
least
make
touch
sure,
feet.
At least just a little toe touch whenever we like tell a joke and both guffaw and our feet go out.
When we touch toes, as we like to say.
When we interlock toes. But today we're really far apart and it's because we had a guest.
We have a guest who will be joining us. We will be putting a chair here in between us.
Yes.
That guest, his name is Hunter Pence. But first, can we just talk about like, what's good?
How are you, man?
I don't know how I am. I've been traveling a lot.
I want to hear the story behind this Letterman jacket that you're wearing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know I was a multiple varsity athlete in high school, blah, 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 blah.
That's what he's known for, yep.
People talk about that a lot. You know, I played a lot of things. I was good at most of them. So these jackets in particular, I got these all made for my boys.
Yep.
For my homies. We do our annual trip to Tahoe.
You know when the boys make matching Lettermans for each other?
And then take a sick pic. We'll put it up here in this empty space we've got.
The pic is sick. The pic is sick.
And we all look like washed up athletes.
You guys
everyone's got
all
their nicknames. I'm Commish because I'm the commissioner of our league.
So you're friends from Occidental? Or you're friends
from Occidental from college. And then a few kind of add-ons later in the game. You know some of them. One high school guy, Stanford guy. And we draft our fantasy teams. We rage for 4 straight days.
You absolutely rage. You're
just
like on
delete
Do Not
beers.
Disturb, deleting beers in a basement in Tahoe.
My friends are like, why don't you ever post about us? And I'm like, guys,
you think I took a single photo?
Yeah, look around.
No, I'm shocked you got that one photo.
Yes.
Matt and I will go to a wedding and I'm like, did you take any photos this weekend? Like send them to me. He's like, no, I didn't take one. I actually have a photo of the golf swing because we did a golf round on Friday.
It's like I was showing my buddy how I like really fall into the slot when I hit.
Awesome. You have a video of you swinging a golf club? That's perfect. That's all I wanted.
Well, what's good with you?
This weekend I went to Half Moon Bay with all the business school couples.
Did they do like at the Ritz?
Couples day. Yeah, they golfed.
Yep.
We drank, kind of held down the fort while they did 18 holes.
That's where the Corp Classic was. Half Moon Bay.
Oh, is that the Ritz?
Yeah, at the Ritz.
Oh, lovely.
Isn't that place sweet?
So sweet.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that spot.
And so I, drank the whole day and then we came back to the house in Menlo Park and continued to drink, play beer games.
Did you do espresso martinis?
We did. We mixed a couple of those in, of course. We went to Pasta Moon for dinner. Have you been in Half Moon Bay? We got a little private room on the side. It was lovely.
God, that sounds nice. Classy.
It was classy.
The thing about those Stanford events is they're classy until they're not.
No, exactly. Then we get home.
Then you get home.
We get home. We're like ripping beer games. We're dragging stuff out. Matt's in my room is like right next to the front door / like living room where everyone's playing games.
So you're not going to bed early.
No. They stayed up till 4:30 and there's a really high ceiling. It's like a 2-story thing, but in this living room, the ceilings are high so they can play beer die inside.
Oh, wow.
So they play
they're launching that shit up in the air.
They're launching it in the air and I just hear it against our door, just the clanging of a die.
And you're like, this is fine.
I'm like, no, I'm really happy. I'm good.
I love this.
I'm really good.
It's good to be back in college.
But at 4:30, they wrapped it up, which was awesome. I went to the 49ers game the next day.
That was a great game. I mean, that was a shitty first half, but Niners that was against the Cowboys, right?
Really fun. Yep.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Huge win.
And speaking of sports, we have an exciting MLB icon here.
Should we bring him in or should we leave him in the closet tied up?
He is tied up in the closet.
Stop squirming.
Hunter, enough.
God.
No, he'll be here.
We're stoked to have him because, again, we want to start bringing guests on here. And if you guys do have guest recommendations, and please don't recommend yourself. We don't want to bring you on here. I mean, unless we are so desperate.
So we did a live show and we like got this whole trailer made. We were promoting this live show to interview CEOs and like C-suite executives at companies. And we got about 30 resumes / pitches of random people, SDRs, AEs.
AEs like, yo, I'm an AE. I got some crazy stories to come tell.
Yeah. They're like, yo, here's why you should bring me on. I'm like, hang on. This was not, did we not communicate something effectively? So we are not asking.
We got paid to bring those people on. Do you want to pay us to do this?
We are not asking for you to be on the pod, although we love you. Maybe we will bring you on one day. This is actually what guests do you want to see? What podcasters?
Yeah, or topics, or like could be athletes, could be business leaders, it could be folks who are experts in, I don't know, career pivoting, which is something we'll talk a little bit about today. Those types of folks, experts in their fields, dare I say.
Yes, you cannot self-nominate. We'll
you cannot self-nominate.
But you can nominate, like, our head of HR is awesome, and she would love to
fired
tell
like
her
17
story.
people last week. Like,
exactly.
you should ask her about it.
You should ask her about it. Bring her on.
Yes.
That we will consider.
That's that shit we do like. So
yes.
You can always email us, contact@demotedpodcast.com. You can leave it in the comments. You can DM us. Annie or Becca will probably respond to you through that. So let's bring him in, our very first demoted guest.
Our first demoted guest. I think that's the biggest thing on his resume that you'll see after
he's
today.
done a lot of stuff in his life. He's very successful, but definitely demoted guest is probably number one.
Two-time World Series champion right fielder with the San Francisco Giants. If you guys don't know this at this point, we are San Francisco, born and raised, based here.
I'm not totally.
Ross is not born and raised.
But obviously I'm a Hunter Pence stan because I'm a huge baseball guy.
We record in the financial district of San Francisco. Yep. Hunter lives close to our studio, actually.
Yes, he does.
It was really fun.
He's the recipient of the Willie Mack Award and recent Giants Hall of Fame inductee.
He's a four-time All-Star who also played on the Houston Astros, Philadelphia Phillies, and Texas Rangers.
He founded multiple small businesses with his wife.
He's a broadcaster for the SF Giants.
You may know him as the Reverend.
He's sent 3 emails this year, but he's the most corporate guy we know.
Welcome to the podcast, Hunter Pence.
What's up? Thanks for having me. I cannot believe I get the honors of being the first guest.
The honor.
The first of many.
We are honored. We're so happy you're here. I have a story about us meeting. It was at Bottle Rock. Do you remember this?
I do.
And Alexis recognized me. I had seen some of her content. We were kind of just having a moment, us. And I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, could you talk to her husband? I just want to make sure he's not bored over there. I didn't realize it was you. So that was a moment for me. Now full circle that it was Hunter Pence. So that was awesome.
I love Bottle Rock, by the way. And I do remember that was so fun. What a wonderful, it's like such a great experience. I mean, it's all the things I love. It's like music, fun people, outdoors, Napa, and wine. I drink too much wine.
Natalie was stone cold sober, I'm sure.
I was definitely not. Definitely not.
It was very clear when we met,
Yeah.
Who's this guy in my face? Go over there. It's fine.
That's so funny. So we talked about kind of the goal having you on is to share your story a little bit and try to get our listeners to see how that applies to their lives in corporate America. You had a big career pivot recently. We have a lot of listeners asking us about their own career pivots. And how does what you do apply to the everyday lass and lad, right? What else are we trying to get
we do have
this?
to confess that we just heard you recently got an email address.
I mean, come on.
I mean, we know we like to bring that up. Like,
look, Lexi's putting me on blast 24/7 always, all right? Most of her content is making fun of me and pranking me. I had an email. I just never looked at it when I was playing.
Yeah, of course. Well, you don't have time. And how many emails would you say now you send yearly?
Yeah,
like annual emails outbound?
The joke is I will read the emails and like I've learned how to do that. And yeah, okay, this is admittedly embarrassing.
That's good.
I'm plus or minus for sure on the year 3 emails sent.
3 emails yearly.
I am so nervous. Like writing is like just like not my thing. Like I love math and problem solving.
Yeah.
But like writing and like getting it like formal, I just like there maybe is like an insecurity within me that I didn't do it right. Cause like I love like texting and just being myself. But like when I have to formally write something, I have zero confidence.
We've made videos on that. Like, hope this finds you well, delete, 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 exclamation point, delete, delete, delete. Like we're insecure about sending emails too. So
yeah, we're reading into our own emails. Just like
our goal is to get to 3 annually though. That's we're gonna shoot for that.
You know what? One of the great benefits of AI, I just thought of this. I need to learn how to AI. Can AI format my message?
It can do that.
Yeah.
AI
all right.
it.
So now, maybe the over is going to be the winner soon.
So huge email guy.
All right.
Honored to have you on.
You're welcome.
Anyway, big email guy. But we're gonna start first. We have to start with baseball. We're gonna transition out of it relatively quickly. But what was your most defining moment in your baseball career, according to you?
Man, it's wild to like try to pick one because it's like such a long journey, right? Like there was obviously the ultimate goal is to win the World Series, right? To be the best in the world at whatever it is that you love or your craft. And the crazy thing with baseball is it's a shared experience. It's a shared accomplishment, a shared responsibility as you go out there. And, to get 14 years, like one day in the big leagues was a dream come true. I remember the emotions. I cried like a baby because you just get all the memories of the work and the discipline it took to get there. And then, to have a career 14 years, it was like every day was a blessing. And to win the World Series twice, I mean, it's impossible to take that away. And the shared accomplishment changes your life forever. The fact that I just got the opportunity to play the game that I loved was the ultimate accomplishment.
Yeah.
So you don't think it was game 4 when you hit the ball 3 times in one swing?
I mean, that was a big moment I
remember exactly where I was watching that. I was like, And I played baseball my whole life. I'd never seen that before. I was, you know,
Yeah,
it's a two-stroke penalty in golf.
Yeah, it was definitely awkward, and like even scientifically, physically, like anytime you hit the ball to the left, it's either going to go straight or curve to the left, and then if you go from center to right, it's going to go, you know, straight or right. And this one I hit to the left, but it went back this way, and that's because it like lacrossed off of my bat.
Yep.
And like that was like the first time they ever had the super slow-mo camera, and they were able to see,
Like,
because it just felt like he like Kelly just beat me, but I was like super on playing with it. And in the playoffs, they bring you, all the bat companies come in and like, try our bat,
Yeah.
and I'm like a tinkerer, and they literally
In
bring
playoffs,
you,
you'll tinker?
always tinkering.
In the World Series, you'll
always tinkering, always tinkering.
Wow.
You know, and at the time I was like, I was using a certain model and I was like liking it, and Louisville brought like the hardest bat I'd ever felt. I'm like, I have never seen this hard. So I was like, it's so hard, I have to try it. And you know, that season in particular, I was kind of like searching at that point.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I say that the bat was so hard that it couldn't break, because that should have broke my bat, and it just felt like I like lacrossed it. So it went left, turned right. The shortstop had never seen it. Like
He fell back on his
he
heels.
went
It's like,
right, the ball
what
went
is
left,
happening?
the center fielder couldn't pick it up. So I call that, you know, the thought momentum, a little bit of movie magic. The Angels were in the outfield or something.
I'm taking from that, you know, try new things, right? I'm taking from that. I'm thinking about a corporate gal getting her job at McKinsey in a consulting firm. I wonder if she shed some tears similar to you getting this major league opportunity. Probably not, right? Because then you're.
I guess what we're trying to say is use AI.
I think
Use
there-
AI.
Try AI out.
Use AI.
I think there is a relation. There's a you know, like if you're like looking for a new job or have some aspiration, right? Like, you know, for me, like the journey to even become a big leaguer, like I made a decision very young that I was going to do everything I could to play as long as I could. I had no idea how far that would take me. Obviously, like you want to get to the big leagues, but like I remember coming in and summers when, you know, some people go on vacation, I would go to summer leagues and there's not that much stuff. I'd be on bus rides, and at like 2 a.m, I'd get home and I knew I needed to lift weights from like whatever road trip. And I would go to the gym at 2 a.m. and work out. And those were the memories that ran through my head. And like, you know, the batting practices and the sacrifices of your brother, your dad, your mom, your teammates, your coaches that led you along the way. So like you may have a dream in whatever your corporate job may be of getting some new job, but it's like the consistent actions towards reaching that goal. And then when it happens,
The process.
So yeah, the process was huge and long. And so to me, I think that's kind of the correlation.
Yeah. Great correlation. Thank you for that, Hunter. Before big games with the Giants, you would give the team pep talks. Is this correct?
Not all the time. There
But
was
sometimes.
there was some famous ones where I spoke. Yeah.
And so I have
You
a
had a
couple.
heinous beard.
Did you?
Your hair was all over the place. You
We
look like
love
a
the hair
caveman.
is amazing. Would you script these? We have people like sales managers trying to pump up their team before call blitzes. Like, did you script these? How do you give a pep talk? What's your advice there?
You know, like, so for instance, the first one, the initial one was in Cincinnati, and really it was like kind of a preparation like of the whole team. And I remember there's too many things to tie. So like each situation is going to be inherently different. And you know, I'd played like every single game for like 2 years. Like I'd been in it and I'd played against that team. And I remember Javi Lopez and Scooter Rowe were sitting around there like, if we don't say anything, we're dead. And the year before, I had hit elimination with the Phillies, and everyone was kind of like doing the same thing, just kind of nonchalant, like, we're okay, I got this. I was like, you got this. Like, that's weird. And then we obviously lost in Philly in 2011. And I love that, like, Javi was like, if we don't say something, we're dead. Well, I was like, well, I'll say anything, because I just, like, we're too good. Like, I believe in us. Like, what needs to be said? And I just started questioning all the people, like, hey, what needs to be said? What can we do? Like, and it all kind of formulated around, like, just this message of like, look, I don't want to go home. I played against us on the other side. We're really good. I love this game. And like, I don't care if we have to win 100 games in a row. I don't care what's ever happened in the past, who's come back from what. All that matters is what we decide in this room. And I like today, like I'm gonna give everything I have as free as I can, because I want one more day with you. Like I love playing this game. And that was kind of the message. And I think the message in the next speech was totally different. Like, well, let's do this for each other. The message in the next speech was, you know, was against St. Louis, and the next series we faced the same thing. And that time we literally did the roundtable. Hey man, what do you want to do today? What do you have to say? Barry Zito, you're starting the game. Yeah. Hey Pablo, what do you have to say? You're from, you know, Venezuela. Like, what's your thoughts? Buster, you know, like Roma. We called everyone. Everyone stood up and
bringing
spoke
everyone
together.
to the table.
So it's more like getting everyone's thoughts. Everyone's thoughts matter, even though our beliefs and alignments may be different.
Yeah.
And it was just like, hey, we do enjoy our differences, and we do enjoy being here together, and we recognize at this moment we may never get again.
I love that. And I love bringing everyone's opinion to the table. There's often like the quiet guy in the office. You don't know his story. You don't know what he's all about. It's like, bring him into the conversation. So I like that.
I do love being able to give other people voices. I think that's super important. Obviously, coming from a vet who's done it before, been there before, everybody's going to listen, but then everybody's sitting there waiting for their chance too. So let's transition now with a transition question. And, you know, most of my life, to my family, to my friends, I was a baseball guy. How's your son the pitcher? How's your son playing baseball? But there was a time when I had to hang it up long before I would have liked to. But I went through kind of an identity crisis at the time. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I always thought I was going to play baseball forever. And that, you know, for everyone, Father
And you're
Time
still
catches
playing
up.
baseball.
I'm still playing, but not
Let's
quite
go.
the level that you were. But what was that transition like, you know, mentally, you realizing it was done, going to the next thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate that I got to play so long, and you know, I still wake up sometimes. I'm like, did I quit too soon? Did I give it up too soon? Could I have
Really?
fought a little
You
harder?
still got it, baby.
No,
Still got
but
it.
You don't. Yeah, I definitely don't. The transition, yeah, you're right. And it sticks with you forever. The memories are forever. I got to accomplish more than I could have dreamed of. So the transition was a little bit smoother in the fact that, like, I still am a big fan. I still love the game. But like playing for my body is like, ouch. Like just mentally, I think I had so much pain for so long that it's like, I don't know, there's some trauma there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'd love to watch. I'm not sure I want to play anymore.
Yeah.
But it is a definite, there was a process, and I had so many things that I really loved and I got into that like really kind of hit that need of like, cause there's nothing that's going to compete with the adrenaline of competing at the highest level. It's a very big dopamine hit, and your self-worth is very tied to that of a baseball player. And I did a lot of, like, I do a lot of reading and a lot of self-work and a lot of internalizing and a lot of that. And without all of that work, it would have been miserable. But for me, it was like, all right, I play baseball. I love that, but that's not who I am. I have surfing, which I really failed at and was terrible at for forever, but now I can enjoy barely getting a wave on a longboard and still get made fun of by everyone. But that's fine. I remember coming out, like trying to like catch waves in the whitewash and failing. It took me like a year to start getting up, and people would be like, "Are you Hunter Pence?" And I'm like, "Yeah, can you like not tell anyone about that?"
You didn't see anything.
And they're like, "I won't. Can I get a picture though?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course."
That, of course.
So,
That's
yeah.
great.
So for me, it was like the hobbies really helped me, but also like it really took the mental work of being like I'm okay with like just who I am, just being myself, and that's not easy in today's world.
We talk a lot on this podcast about having a following and how it can lead to a lot of hate, you know, and doing something so publicly, something that you're great at, that you have, you know, are far more skilled than the folks making their comments. You know, how did you deal with hate and also failing so publicly? Which we're both very
you feel
used to.
So this was honestly, like I said, I did a lot of psychology, a lot of mental work, a lot of studying of all sorts of different crazy things. Like I was very, very much like a curious about life and about that. And one thing that I came across that like literally released that in a very beautiful way was like, it was like, if you're going to take the praise and you're going to get all high on this praise, you know, that's not necessarily who you are. And if you're going to take the criticism and that's going to eat you alive, like they're both literally just an imposter, the praise and the criticism. So you have to learn to like, you're not that good. You're not that bad. Like just be you. And it's a continual process for everyone. Everyone fails. Everyone, you know, everyone succeeds, and you have, you know, and you just continually grow. So for me, it was like, all right, I'm not going to take any of this praise or this criticism. And like, my goal is to be love one direction. And like unconditional love is regardless of whether you hate me or love me, I love you. So that became kind of my thing, is I'm going to be like this son of love. And like, even if you hate me, I'm going to send you love. I'm going to move on. It's like, it's okay. There's things to hate about me. There's a yin and a yang. Even in the darkest of dark, there's light. And even in the lightest of light, there's dark. So just let it be and roll with it. So that's how I did it.
Ross and I
okay.
could definitely take a page out of that book.
All right.
We deal with hate a little bit differently.
We sob uncontrollably.
We cry.
do, yeah.
We
Drugs and alcohol.
We respond violently towards these people.
We turn off the lights.
We turn off the lights.
Lay
and we
face
cry.
down. You know?
I just
We-
like turn my head sideways. You're like, yeah, you're right. I suck.
But
sometimes.
what about everybody's fantasy teams? Do you even care about that? I'm kidding, by the way, but
Yeah, I might have lost people money. I might have made people money, but well, you know, I did my best. I gave it all.
I think you
got.
did. I think you did great.
I think you did pretty good.
We talk a lot about mentorship and like heroes. I think those are synonymous. A lot of mentors in the corporate space are like your coach or who you look to for guidance. Who's kind of your mentor in life or in your career previously or present?
Honestly, like I have a lot of like help from, you know, my brother is really, really close. Obviously my wife is really amazing at helping with that. But honestly, I went to like a lot of books and a lot of just like meditating. Like meditating is kind of my medicine.
Yeah.
If I'm ever like feeling the sped up or the monkey mind is what I call it, or the energy, but I'm a big like woo guy, I guess you could call it. And like emotional intelligence is very important to me, and like my emotional state of being and my energy state of being. So like I'm very paying attention to that. So it's a lot of like meditating and going in and questioning within myself and like listening for an answer.
Yeah.
So
what does meditating look like for
just,
people who might not, like myself,
don't
understand?
I've done a little bit of everything. And honestly, it's like, you know, Deepak had this really cool explanation of just like finding a way to tap into the quantum. And that could be just nature. It could be blow drying your hair, which it is for Alexis. For me, it's literally both. I feel it from nature, but I also feel it from just, I get completely silent or put on whatever frequency. And just like, I could just listen to this little air conditioner in the background, like a buzz, something that gets you really bored and get really still. And then just like, and like thoughts come up and let it go, let it go. For me, I need at least 20 minutes. If I don't get 20 minutes, like I don't really
20 minutes a day.
Like
but
a white noise machine, just
and anything. It can be anything, just something that really bores you, and just sit with it and sit with it. And you'll be really uncomfortable and fidgety, or at least for me.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for years. I started very young. I didn't know what I was doing. And then, and like, it's like that non-judgment is kind of the goal of it all. It's like one day I might feel this like crazy bliss and have this amazing and really beautiful thoughts. And then another day I might just feel calm and peaceful. But I like the analogy of like a stormy ocean. You could throw the Empire State Building in and you might not really notice much of a difference, but if you can get a really quiet pond, even a pebble will cause a massive ripple. So I try to get everything really quiet. And if I want to set a goal or ask a question, I have to get there and then put it in like that pond.
Gosh, we need to meditate, Ross.
You don't need to meditate.
We got to do
something.
something.
To me for 20 minutes. I'll shut down so fast.
If I talk to you for 20 minutes, you'll just shut down. That can be your white noise.
It out.
Thank you so much. You're so sweet. You're so sweet.
That's where I find my peace.
This is kind of a pivot to Instagram and you and your beautiful wife on Instagram. People are obsessed with you too. How'd you meet? Can you give us the story?
Yeah, it's a pretty good story. I am very lucky to have such an amazing wife who definitely is way smarter than me and better than me, definitely the better half in every aspect. And most of my success away from the field of baseball is because of her, and she's super pro. But I met her actually in a studio like this. I was playing Yasiel Puig in MLB The Show at IGN. She was a producer at IGN, and he was like the Dodgers right fielder. I was the Giants right fielder. A lot of like energy with that. It was like the first series. Day after my birthday, actually. Oh. And so she's like trying to put makeup on me. She's like, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want makeup. Like I'm like this guy. And she's like, this camera will get every pore. You trust me. Like, and starts bossing
she's right.
around.
I love that.
And like, she's just showing me the whole studio. And I'm a big gamer. Like I love gaming. I love all nerd culture. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I hear Ross, you're my guy. When it comes to that.
Motorheads. You hear
Magic
that?
the Gathering. All of the
There are tens of us.
Motorheads. Don't let them go off. Please don't let them.
Fantasy shows. I am not a Motorhead at all. Like I have a scooter maybe, and
well, just really quickly, we'll give you a quick. So we call our audience Motorheads.
Okay.
Demoterheads.
Demoterheads. Okay, I thought you were talking about like
no, that's fair.
You're a scooter guy though. We'll ask about that later.
We are going to ask about this. No, you're totally right, and that's kind of the running joke.
Okay,
Someone's like, "No, I don't like cars." We're like, "God damn it!"
Yeah, you got
that's
me
a nice
too.
thing.
Sorry.
That's a nice thing. It's
okay,
a
so you met on set, and then where to go from there?
So yeah, I actually had to have my agent ask for a number because I didn't feel like it was professional.
Oh, wow.
Love that.
And she thought it was like to come back to the studio because she was showing me around the studio and I really loved, and I did want to come back and like hang out, but it was like to get her number, and she was like, no. She told me no like 20 times.
Stop it.
Yeah, and I had to be
Love
relentless.
that.
She's like, this baseball player. Guys. Yeah, her joke every time is like, his face was plastered all over the city. Is either my heart was broken, I'd have to leave my favorite city, or I'd have to put a bunch of penises on his face. That's her joke. She uses it every time. But
I love that.
Well,
I finally talked her into it.
All right. You just mentioned it, but my wife and I are also in business together. She's sitting over there in that back room. So you and your wife, Alexis, you run Pineapple Labs. And how is that business partnership structured? And the personal one, how do you guys differentiate it? How do you work through both and separate the two?
Well, Pineapple Labs is like her kind of thought baby, and I'm kind of the face of it. And, you know, she does pretty much all of the organizing and push and everything. And you can find Pineapple Labs at Hotel Via, 25 Lusk. But she did all of that work, and I just kind of like help promote it and show love. And I do a lot of the tasting. So pretty much like
You're the pretty face.
the classic, like I do nothing and considered the talent. I
Amazing,
guess.
amazing.
Yeah, I am a very good coffee
dream.
taster because I've tasted a lot of it.
Yes.
So if you need me to, we've gone to so many coffee shops all over the place. So that is fun for me. We visited some amazing farms in Guatemala. That was a wild experience.
Wow.
And getting to see kind of the process of all of it has been a wonderful journey. It is really good coffee.
We have like shitty drip coffee if you want some of this here.
Keurig, I don't know.
We kind of have like a curate. That's all
We
we
drink
have.
mud as long as it gets us to feel.
Hey, whatever, yeah, whatever gets you to that feeling that you need.
Okay, so just final question. I guess like your legacy is incredible, everything you've done. I think just hearing you speak now, you are so thoughtful and mindful and very present with your life. I guess on this kind of this part of your life from now on, like what do you want your legacy to be for this phase of your life?
Yeah, that is like a great question. It's like, what now? Like, I'm not trying to conquer baseball or whatever, but ultimately, you know, one of the cool things that I've learned, and I just want to share some of the stuff, like a lot of that journey, like for me, baseball was more of a journey for my soul of like mastering myself. And so I learned like there was a really powerful message I got at the end of it that I think I was seeking validation and I was seeking self-worth through like succeeding on the field. And once I was like, once you are intrinsically, you know, worthy and intrinsically valid and self-validated, then it all kind of reflects like a mirror from inside out. So for me, it's like, I feel like I have this great treasure that I've learned and like trying to heal and share this beautiful inner stuff that I've learned with the world. So these podcasts are a great part of it, and continuing to just be my authentic self and grow and enjoy life and be the best community member that I can. The Healthy Planet Project is one of the most rewarding things that we've ever created, me and Alexis and our whole team. And it's just like kind of like the Johnny Appleseed mentality to plant trees and to clean up the pollution and to pick up trash and to create great memories for the community and get involved.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's we look for validation in our bosses and like all these people at our jobs. And we're constantly, it's like a hamster spinning on a wheel. I feel like a lot of people tell us or they're feeling in their jobs. And so it's great to just hear like work on yourself first. Don't live to work, like work to live and have this life outside of it, I think is important. Yeah.
It's a wild, I think the final thing for me is like, when you're seeking validation from others or needing validation or needing approval, if you're not self-approval, that's like a draining energy to everyone around you.
So draining.
And so like you become a generator when you're like, you know what? Like I am worthy in the fact that I exist because all that is couldn't be all that is without me. And I am here for a purpose and it's to be your authentic self. So like they have measurements of vibration and frequency, and the highest vibration you can be on is authenticity. 10 times higher than love is authenticity.
Wow.
The only thing you have to do is be yourself as fully as you can, but you can't be yourself if you don't genuinely know who you are. Who am I? What do I really like? What do I really love? So like we put on these masks or whatever, but as soon as you free yourself from that, you're like, all I have to do is be myself. I am worthy. I am loved. I am valid. And as soon as you be that within, you start gaining all of this acceptance outside because it's a reflection of who you are on the inside.
Wow.
Did we just get a pregame pep talk? Or
Should we
Are you ready to go
ready
dominate
to
the
go.
Demoted
Great.
podcast?
Baby.
Oh my God, I feel amazing.
All right.
Wow. Okay. We could cut there.
Yeah, should we just go achieve our dreams now?
Should
Or?
we just go?
You
yeah.
are, aren't you?
I feel like I
Yeah,
could
we
fly.
are.
Yourselves a pat on the back. This is awesome what you're doing.
Oh my gosh.
You're killing it.
I talk about this a lot. I really do feel fortunate having just played any baseball in my life. I think it's the perfect metaphor. You fail more than you succeed. You know, if you live every moment like it's the next pitch, you know, put your best swing on every pitch, you can look back over life and be like, I did pretty good after that, not get too hung up on things. And so I love everything you just said about that. I'm like, my soul is just growing.
I feel,
Yeah.
I feel this
Lose is
warmth.
improve.
Usually we bring coldness and darkness to each other's days with this pod. This feels really uplifting.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Seriously.
We just tear each other down.
We are so deeply
Y'all are
sarcastic
hilarious.
and
Y'all
flawed.
bring so much
We're
light
just
to the world.
so sarcastic that sometimes it's nice to just have this ray of sunshine. I feel so nice. Ross is smiling for the first time in years.
Smiled in so long. Holy shit.
I don't know
This
if
is
y'all are
huge.
meeting
Is
me
this
right
love?
now.
No, we're not. We're dead serious. We're dead serious.
We're dead serious.
We're dead serious.
That's what's so fucked up about this is like we're so uncomfortable because we feel again.
Because we feel.
All right, now we're going to transition to some rapid fire questions for you.
You've been called out for your unique throwing motion. What's another goofy thing about you that people wouldn't know?
Oh, I mean, pretty much everything. I am like, everything I do is awkward. So
I love that.
it's just my own unique way. Yeah.
Okay.
How I game, how I drive. I mean, I ride a scooter, how I wear my socks, how I wear my clothes. It's all, everything I
great.
do is a little bit weird. It's just like, it's a part of me.
It's authentic, baby.
Let's
It's
get
authentic.
weird.
That's it.
That's good. I love that.
We're all about let's get weird. All right, when you're in the on deck circle before your next AB, you know, you getting back to the weird swings that you would take. Everyone liked to make fun of those. What's your pre-game or pre-pitch or pre-life routine before broadcasting, let's say?
So pre at bat, I would always walk up to I'm the best here in the world. Let's go. I was
positive self-talk.
I was very big positive self-talker,
Yep.
and especially the worse it got, the more I would reiterate how great I was. So, and that's the hardest times. For broadcasting, the same. I like to meditate. I like to visualize like just great show, great game. That's just like kind of what I roll through, and then I just like I imagine just like great news and just fill myself up. What would be the greatest news, and try to have fun with that. Ride that wave. It feels good.
We do a lot of like live shows and speaking. I think that's probably the most nerve-wracking thing that we do. This obviously we can control it, we can edit it, but when you're on stage in front of people, you can't control that. And
but people like if you just own mistakes and just roll with it.
Yeah, I love that.
As soon as you learn to not take yourself too seriously, because serious is actually a low vibe,
Super low vibe.
Super low vibe.
Facts.
lighthearted.
Some managers listening to this pod need to hear that. Low vibes.
Low vibes. Let's talk about Instagram. Who's your main audience of people who follow you? Do you know like your
think
demographics?
it's similar to like kind of how I'm just kind of like, you know, a little bit weird. I think it's an eclectic group. It's you know, it's baseball fans.
Are we talking gamers? Are we talking moms
there might
in San
be some
Francisco?
gamers. Like,
yeah.
there might be some gamers. There might be some. I think there's a lot of baseball fans. There's a lot of moms. There's a lot of, you know, maybe even pop culture because Lexi's kind of got me in there. But I think it's an eclectic group, similar to kind of how I'm kind of like an eclectic vibe.
Do people feel like a parasocial relationship with you? Like they think they know you?
Yeah.
And how does that feel on the receiving end of that?
So I have a lot of fun. Like Lexi likes to mess with me, where she likes to like give me like fake like because sometimes people will just like hop out of a car and be like, "What up, Hunter?" She's like, "What's your response? You got to give them a good response." And I'm like, "What up?" And she's like, "Not good enough. We need something better."
That's so funny. We always think like we have to make people laugh. Like we
what are
got to
you
be
prepared to
funny,
do?
and we're like crying
Similarly.
on a walk. Like, okay, I don't want to be funny right now. Like, what's up, dude? Oh.
That's what similar shit. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. And then I'm walking away like, why did I do that?
But then
I'm so
sometimes
dumb.
someone's like waving and they're waving at someone behind me, and I'm like, "Oh, they probably know me," and then they don't know
Yeah.
me.
That's
And
the
then- so
worst. I've had that.
Yeah, and they're like, "You look like Hunter Pence," and then you're like, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah, that would be me. Yeah. So
It's like, I'm not, but I hear he's really good looking.
I'm like, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
That's because it's me. Who's done your hair throughout the years? Been a big
Okay.
hair journey for you publicly.
So I'll mention this. When I was playing, I wanted to look as weird as I could because I didn't want you to think that I was methodical with my thought process.
Smart.
I wanted
Keep
to
them
look
on the
like,
edge of their
I wanted to
seat.
look as crazy as I could, so I wouldn't fix it. I would do all this stuff.
Love
You
that.
did such a good job.
But then,
Love that.
Lexi was like, "When you're done with your career, you got to look professional." And so I've been kind of clean cut schoolboy for about 4 years now. And
Yeah.
I
Do you
miss
miss
it. I
it?
miss
Do you
being-
miss it?
I like being weird. I like having, just different hairdos, but I don't know. You got to look your age, I guess.
I
I'm
guess.
still
Yeah.
kind of a prisoner.
That's
Yeah, I'm a prisoner in my own home. I did half of my head vertically, weird designs all carved into it, and then my right side was completely normal.
Is that right?
That was a phase, yeah. Similar baseball phase.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I want to do.
We'll put a picture of it.
I want to do like the bald head to see what that looks like.
Shiny and shine that thing.
But like keep someone
Look like
like
a nice
outside,
egg.
just like a person.
I love that. I love that.
Will you play for my men's league, please?
Like I
Look, I
think
can't
told
promise
you.
the bats. I honestly, I can't.
We can't
we
guarantee
are
playing
absolutely
time.
stacked. We're stacked, but we need a character guy desperately.
I mean, I'm probably going to be the worst player on your team because I can barely swing. So
Perfect.
That was his nice way of saying absolutely not. Sorry,
Well,
Ross.
you can catch.
Sorry,
We'll
Ross.
let you squat back there. Really
I
fulfill a
might play
dream I'm sure
decent
you've had.
defense. I almost got MVP of a celebrity all-star softball game, but I got robbed.
Wow.
shoot.
People wouldn't talk about that. I think I saw something on Twitter. Everyone was pissed.
People don't talk.
That was you. I was like,
I think we need to bring up more drama about that.
Yeah, we should. We should.
They couldn't give it to me because we were in LA, apparently.
wow. Wow, they're still bitter.
So funny.
They're still bitter.
What is the top speed you've hit on your scooter?
Like 14 miles an hour. I don't know.
Oh
Maybe it
my
hit 17.
gosh.
I don't
Slow
know.
down.
Maybe
Slow
it hit
down.
17. I don't know. We never really had a radar, and we tried to go by the MPH thing, and I think it was like 14.
Okay. That's good.
I could run faster than
That's
it.
you're
You could
dangerous.
definitely run faster than 14.
Yeah.
All right, can you tell us about Coral Sword?
Yeah.
Tell us about this gaming coffee combo.
Yeah. So honestly, the dream was I was really into Smash Brothers at the time, and
Classic.
we met one of the great coffee makers, David Buer and Houston, and I was like, look, I had this like meditation. I was like, I want this like coffee and gaming where you play Smash Brothers and you have a cup of coffee and you hang with your homies. Kind of like Friends, but the new age. And he's like, well, I'm checking out space tomorrow if you want to come. I was like, oh my God, yes. And now it's kind of, we had a lot of Smash and we do have console gamings, but it's turned into like board games. We also had a dream of like comics and stuff. But it really is. It's just like, I created the place that I would like to hang out, and the community is awesome. There's a ton of Magic players, ton of Dungeons and Dragons players, and the coffee's really gotten good. Now, turns out like a kitchen is really tough to run.
Yes.
So
yeah, what's it like running a bit? Give us the like business side of it outside of the passion.
I rely on Alexis for anything serious.
Okay, we'll bring her in. She'll be on next episode.
The front man.
Yes,
the front man. Okay.
Ross, do you have a second to chat?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Hunter, can you just disappear for a second? Tight.
Okay, we're alone.
He doesn't want to hear this.
He doesn't need this.
He doesn't need this.
But you know who does? The Motorheads.
All the Motorheads out there do need this. The new Notion AI. It's a single tool that does it all. Search across Notion and other apps, generate docs in your own style, analyze PDFs and images, and chat with you about literally anything.
We use Notion AI to find documents in our Google Drive because, of course, I don't like to save them to folders. I just throw them anywhere, and then I just assume that we'll be able to find it later. So, like, briefs, creative briefs, contracts, all these random documents that are just existing in my Google Drive ether. Ask Notion AI, it'll pull it for us.
Yes.
I also use it for thought starters for like the Gen Z feedback series to give Gen Z lingo, and it's very up to date in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, we use a lot of different tools, and the number one thing for us is it just brings them all together. Like I'm so sick of jumping between all these different things. And Notion AI makes it really simple. Same thing, like you said, we query and it goes, it hits them all at once and brings it all together in one place.
Try Notion for free when you go to notion.com/demoted.
That is all lowercase letters, folks. Notion.com/demoted to try the powerful, easy to use Notion AI today. And when you use our link,
you're supporting our show.
You're supporting our show, Motorheads. We want to make more of this stuff for you guys.
Do you guys want us to keep going? You guys want us to keep doing this?
Do you want us to keep keeping our beanbag baddie selves in those beanbags as baddies? What do you want?
Then check out
Notion.com/demoted. All right, should we bring Hunter back in here?
We should probably bring him back.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Hunter. All right, here we go. What is your favorite field or stadium that you ever played in?
Oracle Park.
What's better, Mexican food in California or Texas?
California.
Ooh, love that.
Wow.
Okay, I'm shocked.
Wow.
Tex-Mex is fabulous.
Can't wait to see the Instagram comments on that one.
I know.
Whew, okay.
I know, hot take. Y'all put me in the freaking fire over here.
All right, drink of alcoholic beverage of choice, cocktail of choice. You seem like a Paloma guy.
Wine. I mean, if that,
just wine.
Wine guy.
I'm a huge wine drinker. I love wine.
It's fully
Cabernet,
Cabernet,
red. I'll do Pinots. I just can't get into white, even though all the ones.
Are you the guy that like sniffs the wine and swirls it around?
I listen to it. I get my ear in there.
Yeah, you're all.
He's got the frequency of every wine.
I feel my cheeks.
You have a relationship with the wine. Got it. Okay, that's good. Wine guy.
I sing to
100%
it.
True wine guy.
Yeah, that's great.
True wine guy.
Could you hit Ross's fastball?
No.
Of course you could. Everyone could hit my fastball.
Everyone
could hit my
That's
fastball.
why I'm podcasting right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm podcasting. No, you'd get cambio, and then you go take a seat, and that would be fine.
Oh, please.
Take a seat. Take a seat.
I've done it plenty of times. I've struck out a lot.
Best board game ever made.
Oh, man. Settlers of Catan.
Yeah. Ooh, yes.
It's such
That's
a classic.
what Nat does know.
I do that.
She does play that.
I am not allowed to play it anymore.
You don't? Do you guys have people over and play that? Do you play?
I got too heated.
Too busy screaming.
Many thieves.
Someone give me some sheep.
We started we started marking down like how often the thief would hit people to like prove points.
Oh gosh. Okay, so it got a little dark.
It got dark. We're not even allowed. That's how good it is.
We're not even allowed. It's so good we can't play it.
Yeah.
It's so good we can't play Settlers.
Okay, that's great.
Pandemic Legacy was really good too.
Do you have anything else you want to say for the pod listeners? Any other insights?
Jack us up one more time.
Yeah, like jack us up one more time before we have to do this whole intro thing. When you leave, we're gonna be sad you're not here.
No, I think I gave you everything I had.
I think you crushed it. Thank you so much for being here, Hunter. That was beautiful.
Thank you all for having me. This was awesome. Motorheads.
Yes,
I feel like the initial Motorhead.
He's the Motorhead whisperer. Really. Yeah, they'll be begging for you to come back on. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
We all are down the street, so I would love to.
Amazing.
Legends. Let's do it.
Okay, Hunter just left. Him and his wife, Alexis, were here and their team. I mean, lovely individual. I thought we were going to talk more about baseball, and I was worried that we were going to get too far down that rabbit hole of, I don't know, his whole career.
You had no faith in me.
I had no faith in you.
I nerded out with him for a few minutes after, though.
You did nerd out after. And he did, I will share, he did pick you up.
He picked me up.
He said, come here, little guy.
Here's the thing.
He picked you up.
I'm not a little guy. I'm not a big guy, but I'm not a little guy. I'm incredibly average in most
Do you think
ways.
when people meet you, do they say, I wasn't expecting you to look like this, stature-wise?
Yeah.
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 People meet me, they're
ways.
like, you're way prettier in person.
I actually got that recently too, and I was like, damn, I should try more on camera.
I should try more.
That's kind of
no,
upsetting.
I should. Why do I film myself with zero makeup looking heinous? And then they see me all glammed up. They're like, wow, you have some riz.
Yeah, a little riz.
Just a
goes
tiny
a long
bit.
way.
Thank you, Hunter, for being here as our first guest. As we mentioned at the top of the pod, if you want other guests on this podcast, someone
Send
has
us
a
an
great
email.
story to tell, send us an email.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Hunter did pick me up and swing me around like a small little baby.
Yeah.
That's been a thing and a theme in my life. Two things. People saying I have a very punchable face, which agree to agree. And the other thing is big, strong, athletic men loving to pick me up and shake me around like a little baby.
I love that. Why don't big, strong, athletic men do that for me?
He did it so easily.
So easily.
I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5".
Ross goes, are you ready? Like, are you sure? Jumps in like a little baby, does a little wah, and Hunter's perfectly holding you, not flinching.
I didn't wah, to be
You
clear.
did, Ross.
That was
It was
dad. I might have dad.
Hunter became your daddy in that
Hunter
moment.
got me jacked up. That was awesome. He was really cool.
He was great.
You know,
I'm feeling inspired. Thank you,
feeling
Hunter,
inspired.
for being here. Should we get into promoted or
Let's
demoted?
get into promoted, demoted.
Promoted or demoted, vocal warm-ups.
Vocal warm. This is right up your alley. This is you and your friends. I'm always on vocal rest.
You're always on vocal
I'm
rest.
always on vocal rest.
I like to sing. Do you see my video today? It was one of my favorite videos I've ever made.
I did not see anything.
You don't watch
today.
my content. You hate me. That's fine.
Untrue
the
and
video,
untrue.
It's Halloween, actually. Well, like this
Halloween.
week
You're
for
going all
the
Halloween
listeners. And I'm doing all Halloween videos this week.
Great. It's like when I did Nights at the Conference Table. Only people will watch yours.
My dad said that was the best thing he's ever seen. And I was out to dinner with my parents, and another friend of my parents comes up to me and goes, hey, Lady Calls a Lot. How are you doing? I was like, thank you.
It's
People
so funny you
loved
say that. It is 100% like millennial or above
Yes.
that liked it. Like it died on Instagram,
But I
it
think-
died on TikTok, and it killed on LinkedIn.
Really?
Yeah. Died.
Oh
like
my
worst
gosh.
performing videos I've ever made.
Yeah, that's so, it was too out of content, but people loved it. And I also think the people who watched it in full, like
Yeah.
it get more
Yeah.
share and like
Yeah.
loved it and understood it.
And people who like knew who we were or had context of us. The problem with those interest-based algorithms, it goes out to a bunch of random people who don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So they don't know like who
It's
you are,
not-
what you
it's,
do.
like, too out of context
It's so
for
out
them.
of context
Yeah.
for them. So I was so proud of them, and I'm glad that someone came up to you. I'm glad your dad liked it.
My dad loved it.
That makes me feel a lot better, honestly.
Good. Yeah, he has a great sense of humor. But vocal warm-ups, the video I posted today was accidentally overdressing for the Halloween party, and I was in my Elphaba full green face.
with Vic.
With Vic.
I did see this.
And I like come in on my broom.
Yeah, and you're like, was this book club?
Yeah. What is this, book club? Okay.
I fucking watched that shit.
Did you think that was funny?
I did.
I thought that was hilarious.
I did.
I don't know.
thought it was funny.
I don't know. I thought it was
Oh
funny.
no, I thought it was funny. Like, you get away with that shit, that like shit at home and stuff. Like if I do some stuff like that,
random
people are like,
stuff.
get back in the office, bitch.
No,
Like,
you got to just introduce them to your.
My life
I
at
think
home.
I'm just waiting for you to throw your chef hat on and do a series of corp cooks.
I did cooking with Corp like on my story a couple times.
Yeah, because you're too scared.
I know, because people
You're not
are like,
man enough to throw it up on a reel.
I can't sit there and look at it get 150 likes
You
when I have
have
700,000 followers.
You
I
have
can't
to.
do it.
You have to.
But I did Nights at the Conference Table and that failed. I'm going to promote it because I know it's the right thing to do.
So yeah, vocal warm-ups
Promoted.
are promoted.
All right. Friday Night Magic. And to be clear, Magic is Magic the Gathering, the card game, not just waving your wand like Elphaba.
Hunter and Ross were nerding out about their video games and board games.
Yeah.
Is there a big correlation between that community,
Yes.
board games and video games?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's very fantasy or sci-fi based, and like a lot of those board games are also the same genre.
But not like people who play COD, right?
Correct. I would say COD is slightly outside that.
It's like a different type of gamer.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Friday Night Magic, I have no clue
Promoted.
what
It's
this
very
is.
fun. Magic
Okay.
the Gathering card game, very fun.
We actually did. I played Settlers of Catan. I've played with my friends.
We did talk about Settlers. I would say Settlers is in that same genre.
That's
not
fun.
of COD.
That's
it's
fun.
actually a little bit more on the nerdy side.
I played with like an ex-boyfriend of mine and his like family, and it got way too intense.
It
and,
always
like,
does.
Someone flipped the board. I'm
Right.
like,
Someone gets
"Jeez,
pissed off.
Oh my
like,
God.
People are ganging up on other people.
Yeah, it was too much.
It's ruthless.
I was like,
It's
okay, I'm going to
ruthless.
see myself out. Promoted or demoted? Ventriloquism.
Oh.
Oh.
Right. Because when we the puppet and like we did the like
When we were
ventriloquizing.
chatting about ventriloquism earlier
yeah,
today.
yeah. I guess I see why this came up when Tal was
am
on
out
80
on it.
milligrams of THC.
I'm out on it. Yeah. When someone talks,
Do I wish I could do it?
when someone talks about something, I don't understand it.
Yeah. So
You guys heard that right? Because that was ventriloquism.
really funny thing to do. Try laughing really hard without smiling.
You're really good at it.
It's a very funny thing to do.
Ross, we need to make that a social club. That was terrifying. That was terrifying. Okay, thank you for that. New nightmare
I forgot
unlocked.
about that. That used to be a thing.
Laughing with your mouth completely closed and not smiling, promoted.
Promoted.
Ventriloquism, demoted.
Demoted. Hard demote. Okay. Watching sports with your dad.
So I went to a game with my dad. Maybe that's why Talon added this. I went to a 49ers game with my dad. Every year they invite me to one game.
Yep.
And every year I bring my dad. He's so into it. He's screaming at 49ers players. We're in the Levi's 49ers suite. I'm like, Dad, let's just cool it a little bit. Like
they can't hear you.
They can't hear you. And
Might
you're not
be shocking, but they
you're
can't
not
hear you.
the coach.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's screaming. And then like there'll be like a fumble or like some sort of pile on and like no one knows. You don't know if it's a touchdown. It's like really close to the end. And he's like, that's a touchdown, folks, to the whole suite of all kind of famous people.
Yeah.
Also, I'm like, Dad, please. This is
Was it a touchdown?
It was.
Oh, thank God.
He called it.
The last
Thank
thing
God.
you want to be is wrong.
He's never.
Yeah.
He wasn't wrong once.
Thank
So
God.
watching sports with your dad.
Promoted.
I mean, do you
I'm
want to
actually
speak to
literally
that?
going to watch sports with my dad tonight.
That's fine.
I'm going to watch the World Series
Promoted.
with my dad. So promoted.
Final one. Promoter, demoted, dogs in costumes.
I go back and forth.
Yeah.
If it's like an easy costume that is clearly not like fucking with the dog, fine. But if you're gonna like shave the dog and spray paint the dog, like
Too much.
Like don't do that.
Borderline
shit.
abuse.
Yeah.
But Dex will of course be
Dex is going as a skeleton
a skeleton. Yeah.
I will
You'll be spray painting in black.
with little white bones.
So Sophie is the a UPS delivery man.
Oh, nice.
And she has
that's
this
when they hold the
sick-
package, like
yeah,
walk with a little package.
She has this sick ass costume, and she has a great relationship with the UPS guy at our family home.
Love that.
He gives her a treat every time. So she
love a
just
good
just
UPS
had to pay
guy.
it forward.
Yeah. So dogs in costumes, semi-promoted.
Promoted. You can't
Good
spray
relationships
paint
with
them.
the UPS guy.
Promoted.
Definitely promoted.
Promoted. And
Definitely
you can't
promoted.
spray paint your dog unless you're Ross because he's a hypocrite.
Because I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And I use soluble, whatever chemicalized
totally
stuff. It's
free
just
range.
chalk. Free range chalk on my
Dex loves it.
I stencil.
He has the black circular eyes. Oh, I can't wait to see him.
I would
Okay.
never do that. All right, let's do one Dear Demoted. Get the folks out of here.
Let's do it. We'll give you what you came here for.
Yep.
I recently listened to your new episode of Demoted, Shifting Careers, and wanted to get your advice on making a shift. I'm 26. I've been employed at a small public accounting firm for 4 years. I'm wanting to make the switch to another industry as well as move to a bigger city. The partner that I report to is getting ready to retire in the next 5 to 7 years and would like me to purchase his clients at fair market value, around $300K over 5 years, and take over his partnerships at the firm. This firm has a very laid back atmosphere with unlimited PTO, work-life balance, etc. Ross mentioned in the podcast about not feeling intellectually stimulated was the main reason for him making a shift. And I feel like I'm at that point. I can still learn a lot in the industry, but the work I do is mainly the same repetitive tasks with some caveats. Should I stay and reap the benefits of basically working for myself, or should I make the switch to another role or industry? Maybe start my own company? Thanks for your advice.
It's tough.
Can you explain like the purchasing of the clients? What kind of industry is this? Oh, public accounting.
Yeah, accounting. So it's just like you take over, you pay me out and I will shift the entire business to you. So you're kind of like getting that revenue for yourself.
And you get them for the
I
subsequent
mean, assuming
years.
I don't know what the rules are around whether they may, like, if their accountant leaves and they're like, I actually don't want to work with you. I want to go to someone else. I don't know how that totally works.
Yeah.
But that's effectively, it's like buying your book of business. I'll transfer all my clients to you. I'm stepping
That seems
out.
like a great deal. It's really hard to start something fresh and acquire clients, especially someone in sales, Ross.
It is.
And I think like our accountant who we worked with is constantly asking us for referrals and like people it's hard to get clients and it's such a random thing. And people usually it's like you can be grandfathered into like using your parents' accountant or like you get one referral and you just use it and stick with it. And like, especially with accounting, I think it's hard to just build a book of business from zero.
It is. I guess it's what do you want in this? There's not a right answer here. Like, it's not like clearly do this versus do that. Like, you could go start something on your own. And like the truth of the matter is maybe you could take some of those clients in the long run. I'm sure there's like non-compete stuff, but I don't even know if that's legal depending on where you live. Like, intellectual stimulation is underrated, I'll say. So if you feel like this is so boring and monotonous, there may be a reason to go and start your own thing and try to find some clients.
I agree.
Again, there's going to be a lot of work there, but if you have the flexibility and like that's what your heart tells you, that's what you should go do. But if you're like, this person says, I don't know if she doesn't say, but like 26 years old, Are you married? Are you going to have kids? Do you want to have, like, what kind of stability do you need in life or want in life? Like, 26 is young as far as I'm concerned. And you want to go start something and take a risk, like, it's a great time to take a risk.
I also think you should separate the job from your city. I know you mentioned, like, you want to move to a bigger city.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happens remotely. I think you should be able to move wherever you want to be.
Especially accounting, you don't need to be.
You don't need to be in person for an accountant. At least, I don't know.
Ours are both
remote.
cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of looking inside yourself and deciding, what do I value? If you want to have flexibility to make a move, and you sounds like your heart wants to be intellectually stimulated or move somewhere else, like, bounce and figure it out. You'll figure it out. You've got the skill. It sounds like you can do it, but building a book of business should not be underappreciated how hard that can be. So those are the pros and cons. That's what I would say. Trust your heart. Trust your soul.
Trust your heart.
Let's read a review, do some shout outs, get out of here.
Will you read the review?
I will. This one's titled Great Pod. How'd you think of that? By Meg 1996. There's like 7
Thank you,
G's
Meg.
there. This is the only podcast I've seen that gets into the corporate side of things. I love it, and you guys are so funny. Short and sweet. Meg 1996.
Meg.
We appreciate you, Meg.
Made my life. Shout outs.
Shout outs.
This is a shout out follow up from Elaine.
Oh.
After having Demoted podcast shout out my boyfriend, Eric Waite, 1, he found out he'll graduate with his PhD in pharmacology from Penn on December 18th, and he proposed to me on October 19th. So I got to shout out Natalie and Ross for manifesting the goodness. We love you.
We love Eric.
We're going to keep
Elaine.
shouting out Elaine and Eric. They'll be passing it back to each other.
Alexa, remind me on December 18th to send basket of cookies to Eric Waite for graduating in pharmacology from Penn. I don't have an Alexa. I don't have an Alexa, so you're not getting any cookies. I'm sorry. All right, 2. Shout out to Taylor in Texas for getting his first half of the year deal closed. Can you hurry up with the second half so I can get fired too? From Josh in California.
Love that. Shout out to Amalia, my corporate beanbag baddie bitch partner in crime every Tuesday.
Hell
Love
yeah.
you. Hashtag bring Demoted live to Texas from Paige BBB, parentheses beanbag baddie.
We got beanbag baddies all over this bitch.
The thing about the Motorheads, if they listen to more than 2.5 episodes, they're in for life.
They're in for life.
They know the lore.
Yep.
They know us
They know the
deeply.
inside jokes.
They know the inside jokes. They know Winnie the Riz.
They know Winnie the Riz.
And like, that's what I love.
That's
like
what we
Paige is a self-proclaimed beanbag baddie.
It's the best.
And I love you.
You know, it hits a little different. Like, people will come up to us and be like, I love your content, like, I love your videos, blah, blah, blah. But when Motorheads come up, like, it feels a little more intimate.
It feels so intimate.
It really does.
Because it's not like, oh, I've seen your videos. It's great. It's like, I love when you told that story.
Yeah, I'm like, can I
working with?
Can I give you a hug?
No, totally.
Would you accept? Can we share a hug? As you would say?
We still need to do the give them a Motorhead sticker on their license.
I know.
Organ donor, Motorhead. 2 very important things.
All right, so those are our shout outs. Thank you guys. As always, contact at demotedpodcast.com. Send us shout outs or roasts, whatever you want. We'll read them. Smash that like button, interview it, send it on its way, send it to the 8th realm, bring it back, leave a comment. Spotify, Apple, all that shit.
Comment interesting post on our stuff. I need to stop telling people to do this because now, like, my Instagram thinks I've paid bots.
Yes, same.
And
same.
so,
Same.
whatever. Keep
Especially
doing
when
it.
I'm only getting 6 comments and 4 interesting posts.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Don't stop.
Thank you.
It's a me problem. It's a me thing.
Yeah.
So, as always, we will see you next time on
Demoted.
Demoted.